Would I be the a-hole if I complain about my coworker who messaged my husband? Plus updates. Original post. Yesterday, we had year-end inventory day at my new job I started 3 months ago. I, 35 female, was asked to bring a friend as my partner to help. We all brought our husbands and wives, a few children with their boyfriends, etc. I brought my husband, 36 male. My one co-worker, 34 female, did not bring anyone. She just helped each group of partners throughout the day. Everything was great. We had a wonderful day, and inventory was nearly perfect, so we got praised. Anyways, the next morning I get to work at 8 a.m., and 4 minutes into my day, my co-worker who did not bring anyone asked if my husband has a brother that's single and specifically looks exactly like him. I said no, he only has a sister. She said, oh, that's a shame. So he doesn't have a brother? Me again. No, why? Do you have a crush on my husband? She literally laughed like a little schoolgirl. Let me start by saying I am far from jealous. I know my husband is attractive. I know I am too. I know my husband is successful. I know I am too. I know my husband is hilarious, kind, makes everyone feel heard and important. That's the exact reason I married him. I thought it was cute she liked him. This did not upset me. She then went on to talk about him almost any chance she could for the entirety of the day. And again, this did not upset me at all. He's most likely not coming back here, at least until the next year-end inventory day. She's having a crush. It'll pass by next week. What did upset me, when I got home at 4:30 p.m., he showed me that at 1:24 p.m., she texted him, and I quote, "Hey OP's husband," spells his name wrong. "How are you today? Your lady's really bothering me." So this woman went into our system, found my husband's phone number, and deemed it okay to text him in this manner. Of course he did not respond. Of course, he thought it was absolutely insane. And now I'm getting ready for work today, and I will see her in the next hour and a half after her doing this, and I'm not sure how I should or will react. Like I said, I am very far from jealous. I understand crushes and feelings and emotions, etc. But someone going to this level to contact my husband turns me into a grizzly bear. Would I be the a-hole if I told HR she did this? We work for a very large billion-dollar company that takes these things very seriously. She'd essentially lose her job. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. What's your goal? To get her fired or correct her behavior? How would she have access to employee files? Does she work in HR? She crossed a professional line. You could report her or just simply ask her why she felt it was appropriate to look up your personnel information and text your husband. She clearly violated company policy. Do whatever you feel is appropriate. You would not be the a-hole. That is my issue. I know they will fire her and I don't otherwise dislike her. Do I ignore this or address it as an issue? You're missing the point. This is much bigger than you and your husband. What she did is wildly inappropriate. She has access to people's personal information and clearly has no problem mishandling it. She has low impulse control. She's unethical. And that type of person will use information against you and others to get what she wants. If she feels rejected, how far will she go? Will she tell HR you or your husband said or did something? Will she show up at his work? Your house? She met a married man for a few hours and decided it would be appropriate to start a relationship with him. And her first move was to use access to personal info and attack you? Don't play with people like this. Go to HR so you control the narrative. She seems unstable and needs to go. You're right. Not the a-hole. Go ahead with HR. This will probably get worse in the future for you or another colleague. Also, we like drama here, so please update us. Not the a-hole. Go to HR. Don't feel guilty if she loses her job. It's because of her actions, not yours. Also, I second the notion for an update. Drama is all we're here for. Now for the updates. Firstly, just clarifying. My husband and all the helpers were paid well for their work. The children were 24 plus. We needed 10 extra people for one day. It wasn't slave work. We had a great day, and it was nice introducing my husband to everyone and meeting others' wives. We're going through a very large merger at work, and today was very busy. Our head managerial team was not in. I did tell my assistant manager what had happened, showed him the photo of the text message, and explained that I was very upset with my coworker. He was flabbergasted, and tomorrow we will sit down and tell our general manager what happened. He asked me what my resolution would look like, but we both agreed that once the GM knows, it's not exactly up to me anyway because of the breach in privacy. I do feel terrible, but she really shot herself in the foot. I've done nothing but be very nice to her. Even the "your lady is bothering me" wasn't warranted because I wasn't even bothering her. Second update 2 weeks later. Hey everyone, since almost every comment was on the exact same page, I really do appreciate everyone's input. With that said, there was an overwhelming appreciation for the need for my privacy, so I'd like to provide that to my coworker as well. She was indeed fired from her position this week, but that's all the information I will provide in respect to her privacy. If she ever sees this, I honestly hope the best for her, and all I have to say is, just make smarter choices in the future. Thank you everyone. Calling his wife bothering while texting him off the system. She really thought she's main character or something. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is TikTok behavior. Yep, she acted like it was all fun and games, until it wasn't. As a woman, it always amazes me how low some women will stoop, especially for a taken man. Coworker sounds unhinged, so I am glad it was resolved for OP. I've had women flirt with my husband, and one even asked for his number right in front of me, while on a date with a guy of her own. We were out at a bar with games and such and randomly started talking. We're both lucky that I think it's funny instead of getting mad and jealous LOL. I mean, I married the man. I get it. I would love to know where people purchase all this audacity. Baffling the way some people carry on. Next story. Am I the a-hole I took my PS5 back from my ungrateful nephew? So my nephew is 14 years old and his PS5 recently broke. My sister couldn't afford to buy him a new one, and I had my old PS5 in my closet, so I gave it to him. He was overjoyed and had been using it for about a week. I was chilling at my sister's house when she was telling him to get off his games and finish his chores before starting another match. At first, he ignored her, and then when she stood in the way, he mumbled something like, "Not doing that shit." Oh, I got mad. I went right into his setup, ripped my PS5 out of his TV, and put it in my car. He started screaming and crying, begging me to give it back, but also calling me a bitch at the same time. I told him if he was going to be an ungrateful little turd, he wasn't going to do it while gaming on my PS5. My sister got mad at me for swearing at him. So I said to her, if that's what she was worried about in this situation, she needs to rethink her priorities as a mother. So yeah, now I'm a big a-hole for swearing at her kid and calling her a bad mom. Am I the a-hole really though? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. She got mad at you? That's insane. You're right, her priorities are out of order. Don't give it back to him. Exactly. Actions have consequences, and respecting the people who go out of their way to help should be a baseline expectation. If the reaction is more outrage over language than over blatant disrespect, that says a lot about where accountability is being placed. Not giving it back is the right call. Your old PS5 in your closet. I'll come do some chores for it. I'll take this offer. It ain't going back to him. Well, I don't know about that. You did right, but you should at least give him a chance to make it up and earn it back somehow. You gave it to him and he acted like a spoiled brat. It'd be a good lesson for him to make up for his mistakes. Your call, though. Now for the update. Holy crap, thanks for so many responses. I actually showed this to my sister when it took off, and we've been screenshotting and laughing at some comments. I'm actually a woman, but being called Uncle Larry tickled me to no end. I apologized to her for butting in so quickly. The comments showed me that I should have taken her aside and asked her if taking away the PS5 as a united front would have been better. She told me she was actually grateful the PS5 was gone. She said that my nephew has some new behaviors and friends he didn't have before, and they've been concerned about his video game use for a minute. She wants my nephew to come over and apologize to me, but I am not to give him back the PlayStation 5 if he asks. Thanks for the interest and the laughs, guys. Really appreciate you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for literally pretending my old best friend didn't exist when she tried to say hi to me after ghosting me years ago? This happened about a week ago, and I'm still turning it over in my head, so I figured I'd ask here. A few years ago, one of my closest friends, let's call her Rachel, completely disappeared on me. We'd been best friends for 7 years. One day, she told me she didn't have enough money to go clothes shopping with me. I said it was fine, and that we could just hang out together before we started our new jobs. I asked if she wanted to come around to my house, or if she wanted me to come to hers. She never replied. The day we were supposed to hang out came and went. And then I saw afterwards that she had been out drinking with other friends. So she obviously had money to spend, just not with me. I stopped trying after I saw that. It took me a long time to accept it, and it hurt in a way I still don't think I've fully processed. Although I have friends, I haven't let myself get that close to anyone again. That was 4 years ago. Fast forward to a few days ago, I saw Rachel, ironically, when I was out shopping with other friends. She waved at me and smiled like nothing had ever happened, like we were old mates bumping into each other, not someone I genuinely loved as a friend. My other friends said hello, being polite and all. They knew her from high school too, but I didn't move any closer to her or say anything. I literally pretended she wasn't there. I talked over her asking what we had all been up to these years, said I was hungry, and that we should go get pho before the wait time got too long. Then I looked right through her and walked past without saying a word. Now here's where I'm wondering if I was the a-hole. A few friends said later I was too cold to her, and that what I did was overly dramatic. It was years ago, that maybe she had her reasons for ghosting, and I should be the bigger person. But honestly, I don't think I owe someone grace when they couldn't even give me a goodbye to a 7-year friendship. Am I the a-hole for being petty and pretending she didn't exist? Not the a-hole. I had a friend like this. I helped her open her business. I lost money giving them my time. I helped them move twice. I took care of their dog when they went on vacations. I hosted their birthday parties. I spent thousands on them when they couldn't afford their rent. I helped her shop for baby clothes and set up her nursery. I said no one time, just once, when they asked me for more free work and they cut me out. Never told me why. I asked, I messaged, I called. Just stop talking to me. It's been 5 years. I'm not over it. It made me trust people a lot less. She still likes my Instagram stories once a year or so. I imagine they're hoping I'll reach out. Our mutuals know I want nothing to do with them. I wouldn't have done what you did, but I sure as heck wouldn't pretend to be their friend anymore. I'd probably just answer like they were a coworker I don't like and leave when the opportunity presented itself. That's awful. I'm so sorry that happened to you. She completely used you for your kindness and generosity. I'm not surprised you don't want to be close to anyone after that. Your incident actually reminded me, after Rachel ghosted me, she liked a post I made about my grandmother who had passed away. That was the only post she ever liked on my Instagram since she ghosted me. It felt weird and messed up that she did that. Not the a-hole in any way. My wife had a friend like this that just ghosted her out of nowhere. No precipitating event, just like you. Around 5 years later, she reached out via email and apologized profusely, went into detail that it was her being in a bad place and being ashamed of herself. This not being an email to ask for forgiveness, but to merely let my wife know that it was nothing to do with anything about her, but was entirely this ex-friend's fault. My wife ended up meeting with her, and for the past decade they have been friends again. She's one of my wife's best friends. That's the level of contrition necessary to have a chance of being worthy of forgiveness in this sort of situation. This person displayed none of that. It's okay to need time for yourself when you're in a bad place, but communication is key. Your wife's friend at least had the decency to send her an email apologizing and explaining herself so she was reassured it was never her fault and didn't even expect forgiveness or be welcomed back. But the two worked together to be back at the same page and be friends again. That is what is needed in these situations, not just swoop it under the carpet like nothing happened. I'm so glad your wife and her friend could patch it up. Last story. Am I the a-hole for ending a family relationship after accusations of theft? Hello. Recently, I, 31 female, have decided to end my relationship with my stepsister's mother, 63 female, as she accused me of stealing my disabled stepsister's 29 female toys. For context, I have known Yoli for roughly 20 years, and for the past 4 or so, I have worked as an in-home caregiver to assist Yoli as she works and cares for a disabled adult. 3 weeks ago, I received a text message that my sister was missing some toys. I agreed to look for the said toys at my house, as I have small children and things happen. Yoli then stated it was an entire box of toys, which I immediately notified her I do not have, because I don't. When I showed up on my next working day, I discovered every room in the house was locked. I generally have access so that I can dress, bathe, and provide other care to my sister. Yoli stated she locked them because the rooms were messy. This felt off, and I decided to begin looking for a new job. I felt if she was uncomfortable having me around, it would be best to leave. Apparently, this was the wrong choice, and since I notified Yoli of my job change, she has run to every family member stating I stole the toys, clothes, food, etc. The stories of my theft are now astronomical and all complete fiction. As I was technically employed and had a company to report to, I have been unable to react or defend myself in any way. At this time, I have notified my stepfather, stepsister's bio dad, that I can no longer care for my sister. He understands, but the rest of the family has expressed that I should just take the harassment for the benefit of my disabled sister. Am I the a-hole? Accused of theft. Next thing you know, they'll think you're running a toy smuggling ring. Call the authorities. Thank you for making me laugh. I have been an emotional wreck since this started, as I truly love my sister and do not wish her to experience poor care. Not the a-hole. I love when people tell you to take abuse because they know they will have to help out more if you don't. Find the one line that you can repeat over and over until they get tired of talking. Something like it's not fair to Yoli to be with someone her mom doesn't trust. Thank you. I will definitely use a line like this. My immediate thought is early dementia. My wife's uncle got really paranoid about people in the family moving, hiding, and stealing his things. I've been in a similar situation where my dad's new wife accused me of stealing random stuff from their house. You did well by leaving the house immediately and finding a job elsewhere. Please realize that her accusations will probably get worse and expand to include your children and spouse. Stay physically distant from her and her kids. Don't visit them, nor allow them to visit your home. Don't ride in her car or let her in yours. If she is willing to lie about you stealing, she could easily leave an item in your car or house to prove her lies. Keep track of her accusations and your interactions with her and her kids. Include dates, times, details, and any other people present. It will help you keep the details of this situation straight when you have to explain it to a lawyer or officer. She is either mentally ill or set on getting you into legal trouble. Protect yourself and your family by staying away from her and her family. I'm sorry this has happened to you. I hadn't even thought of all this. Thank you for the heads up.